Good morning. This is Connie Hampton, Hampton and Associates, Scientific and Executive Search Consulting, with your Network Polish Kit. Today we're talking about what is targeted networking and can it find me a job. Thank you so much for coming. This is a re-recording of our December 6th live webinar because I'm still not good at the technology. So please do send me your questions at the emails here or at the end. I really appreciate your coming, and I hope this is of real use to you. So, hard truth. The economy is not doing so well these days. The Dow is all over the board. The VCs and other holders of capital are sitting on it like a dragon sitting on a pile of gold. And companies think that they can have the ultimate candidate because the unemployment rate is so high, they think they can get 2 jobs out of 1 person. And they're not being real clear. But nevertheless, it is possible to find your next job. So what will we cover today? Please do take out pen and paper. You may find there are things that you need to write down. So what is networking? What is targeted networking? And how can this help me find work? So the benefits of a good network really are that you're recognized by your colleagues as the expert that you are. None of us are 17. We've all had unique experiences. We have unique skill sets. We deserve to be known as experts because we are. A good network will help you manage, even control your career and your career path. Certainly it can help you find your next job, and it also allows you the opportunity to help other people in your network give back. So what is networking? Networking simply is when you give something that doesn't cost you much time, attention, a connection, a contact, referral, a piece of information, a little bit of advice, help in solving a puzzle, to receive something that you really value, which are all of the same things. So you and your networking partner are giving and getting things that are of value to the receiver that don't cost the giver very much at all. So, job search. Job search has really changed. Once upon a time in my great-grandfather's day, he came to this country and looked in the want ads, checked the signs in the windows, went into the employer, filled out an application, and worked there for 30 years and retired with a gold watch and a pension. And these days, you just don't get that. So how have you been doing your job search? Are you looking in the paper want ads, or are you online? These things are very different these days. It's not this way anymore, and we're lucky if we stay at one place for 4 years before we have to do it again. On the other hand, I bet you were never taught how to do a job search. So the dilemma is that the company needs someone to solve a problem that they have, or really explore an opportunity that's come up, and you need a way to present yourself to this company and prove that you can, in fact, solve the problem or make use of the opportunity. How do you do this? Well, let's look a minute at what it's like on the inside. More and more employees are doing more and more work because for the last 10 years, we've had more layoffs than we've had major hiring. So the person who is working in the company has so much on their plate. And some of them are trying to solve that problem that you could solve, or make use of that opportunity that you could really make use of, as well as doing their own job and the job of the guy that got laid off. So it's hard in there. Now, how does the company find someone? Well, recruiters are hired by the company to find the right person, but usually only after all the other methods have been used. Job boards. Job boards are publishers. They don't actually have the job, and neither do the recruiters. The decision maker is the one who actually has the job. HR, while getting closer to having the job, is really tasked with supporting the hiring manager to fill the open position, along with comp and benefits, employee engagement, organizational development, training, all kinds of things. It's not their one single and only job to fill this position. And the person who is struggling with the problem or trying to find time to use the opportunity, while they know first that somebody needs to be hired, usually they don't have the authority to hire. So really the person who has the job is the hiring manager who has the pain of the problem or the pain of missing that opportunity. Has the authority to hire and has the pain. So they're the one who can really make the decision to hire someone and then who to hire. So how are these jobs filled? Well, recruiters fill a little, job postings fill a little more, but networking fills the most. 85% by networking, 10% through postings, 5% by recruiters. I asked on LinkedIn how people had found their last job, and what we discovered was that entry-level positions are more likely to be filled by job postings than any that require experience. So, can targeted networking find you a job? Well, you're not a generic employee, you don't want a generic job. So yes, networking, and especially targeted networking, is the thing most likely to find you your next job and lead you to your goal. But, so how do you do this? Networking. Most bang for your buck. You do need to spend time preparing to network, and you need to spend at least 80% of that time networking. Don't ignore the job postings. Spend about 10% of your time on them. Since they fill about 10% of the jobs, why give them more? Now, studies have been done that show that people who spend 20 or fewer hours on their job search take much longer than people who have a plan and spend 20 or more hours per week on their job search. So 10% of your time on job postings, no more than 2 hours. So what exactly is targeted networking? It's when you have a goal, a strategy, a step-by-step plan to give things, ideas, appreciation, connections, advice, suggestions to the people in your network who are most likely to give you the information, connections, introductions, referrals, ideas, and advice that you need. So now it's time to take out that piece of paper and a pencil and tell me why you need to do this particular set of targeted networking. Are you looking to increase your reputation? To sell something? Maybe. To find something? To be connected with someone? To find a job? Probably to find a job. Or just because it's fun, and it is. Think of the parties that you're going to be going to this season. Sorry, little dog in the background. Parties that you're going to this season, you meet someone new, you want to find out about them, they want to find out about you, you discover you both do something similar, and you give each other contacts and advice, and it's fun. why we go to parties. So decide what it is you need from this particular networking plan. So, what's your goal with your plan? What do you need to get from your networking? Idea, advice, connections, referral? What's your strategy? How are you going to go about doing that? Attending holiday parties is not a bad part of your strategy. Once you get there, what's your plan? Who do you need to connect with? And what can you give them in return? Okay, so take out your pencil and your piece of paper and write down your goal. And be as specific as you can be. I want a job doing X at a company that does Y within 25 miles of my home, or something like that. What do you need to get from networking? Is this a good company to work for? Who hires people who have my skill set? Are there any problems in that group? Is it a good place to work? Who do you need to connect with? And what do you need to give in return? So, take a few minutes and really write it down. Put me on pause if you like, and I will come back in a minute. So let's go back a little bit. Targeted networking really needs you, and you need to know where you are now. You need to be able to really understand what you're bringing to the table. What are your skills? What's your experience? What do you know how to do? So really sit down, write it out. It's not a resume. It's the things that you know how to do. What's your goal? What's your ultimate career goal? Do you want to be... So, what is your goal? Write it down. Write it down to the color of the carpet. Do you want to be VP of a startup? Do you want to be senior director of R&D? What is your goal? And then take a look at what you have now, where you are now, and what the next step would be towards your goal. You don't want to take a side step. You don't want to take a step backwards, but make sure that you know what makes sense for your next step. Targeted networking needs that networking partner. We network with real people, and you need to know who can help you reach your goal. So go make that list of who you already know. Friends, family, people you went to school with, work colleagues, everybody you can think of. Usually it's a list of about 450 people. And put a star next to the ones who you think can help you the most. It's likely that your cousin's 12-year-old daughter is not going to be real helpful in your search, but she should be on the list of people you know. We're going to expand this and add to this list of starred people, but you might as well start off with the folks you already know. Remember that you can't network with everyone. You just simply don't have the time. And you also don't want to work for every or any company. There are certain places that they may be well known, but they don't use your skill set, and you wouldn't be happy there. So, what you don't want to do is post a generic resume all over the internet. You don't want to send a generic resume to everyone you can think of, because you're not a generic person and you're not looking for a generic job. What you do want to do is know what you want, and you've started. You know what your ultimate career goal is, and you know what your next step is. You need to know what companies you want. there may be a fabulous company all the way across the country, but you can't relocate right now. So take out your map, draw your circle. What's a good commute for you? And what are the companies within that commute that would use someone with your skill set? You need to know who works there. Who on your list already? Do you know who works there? Who's in your LinkedIn who works there? Can you get introduced by someone you know to someone you don't? You want to network with anybody who works there who is not the hiring manager, not the CEO necessarily, but you want to find out about the company, and you want to find out who has the problem. Then you want to be introduced to the person with the problem, that one with the desk piled high, because you want to find out what the problem is. You've solved lots of problems in your career. I bet there's one you don't ever want to see again. And then you need to stay top of mind, because the person with the problem knows about the need to hire long before the hiring manager does. So when the hiring manager finally figures it out and says, dang, we need to hire somebody, who do we know? It needs to be your name that comes up. So the process is, what do I want? What companies could use my skills? Where do I want it? Who works there? How do I network and then eventually interview? How can I follow up and really get hired, get on board? Networking is for the rest of your career. The people who are currently in your network and the ones you'll be adding through this process will be in your career network for the rest of your career. So you want to keep it shiny. If you send holiday cards, these are the folks you send holiday cards to. If you have big parties, consider inviting them. But one way or the other, stay in touch. The Network Polish Kit is a 6-session intensive over a 3-week time period. We'll cover all of these things in depth, and we'll also get templates, a day-by-day breakdown of how to find your next job, websites and how to use them. We'll go over LinkedIn and a number of other ones. You also get access to a group forum where I can answer your questions and where these new people in your network can help you, at least the ones who've joined the forum. And then also special gifts and tools, physical things that can help you in your next job search and for your networking in general. I'm asking that you spend 2 hours per week for each of 3 weeks, plus the time to do your homework and networking. This is normally offered for $600. Because it's the holidays and because it is about job search, I'm offering it at half price at $297 for the entire intensive, or we can just do pieces of it, 3 payments of $110 each. You can sign up here or go to this site for more information. And I also wanted to ask, do you receive our newsletter? We do a free monthly newsletter with job search tips. You can sign up there for that one. And you will also receive, or as a thank you gift for signing up for the monthly newsletter, you will get my 5 networking secrets to steer your career to greater heights. I will never reveal your personal information without your explicit approval. That might happen if I have a job that seems to suit you, and I will let you know either through the newsletter or directly that there's an interesting opportunity and that you might want to explore, and I'll look forward to talking with you about it. So my contact information is here on this page, JSS, Job Search Strategy at hampton-research.com, or networkpolishkit@gmail.com. Or if you want to send me a resume, please send it to Connie at hamptonexecutivesearch.com. My phone number, 510-601-1343, and I would love it if you would like my Facebook page, Network Polish Kit. Thank you. Hope to talk with you soon, and hope you have a wonderful holiday and an easy career search.